By Tuesday evening it was obvious Jamie had slipped below 3 years. The family was sitting around the living room when Jamie walked in wearing one of Michael's old matching shirt pants set covered with pictures, bears and bunnies. "Hey Squirt, you are wearing my clothes from when I was a baby." Michael smiled at his backhanded comment. For Jamie it was too much, his immature emotions were once again taking hold of the situation, his self-control slipped. "I am not a baby, you take that back." Michael just smiled. "But Squirt, your pant legs have snaps for diaper changes." Jamie looked down at his clothes, realizing what he was wearing. "I don't wanna wear this stuff." Jamie left the room yelling, "I'm not a baby." He ran upstairs to Mary's room and proceeded to dress in Mary's less feminine clothes. Even though Jamie was far too small, he dressed up in them anyways, trying to hold on to what remained of his age and dignity. After changing his outfit, Jamie ran downstairs to show everyone the clothes he had picked out. Upon entering the living room, he tripped on his oversized pants and crashed to the floor. Jamie sat there, looked down at his pants and started to cry. Jamie couldn't believe it, he was peeing his pants uncontrollably. A growing wet stain formed around the crotch of his pants for everyone to see. Marjorie had seen enough. She confiscated the oversized clothes. This left Jamie sitting in the middle of the living room, wearing only a shirt and a pair of training pants, with a large wet stain in the front and back. "Mary and Michael, you are in charge of Jamie. He is to remain in the living room until I'm finished. Is that clear?" Marjorie turned and asked Sheila to follow her upstairs, leaving Jamie under the care of his 2 youngest kids. For the first time, Marjorie had crossed the line and sided with the children, making them responsible for their former father. To Jamie, this was a terrible insult. That his own kids were considered more responsible than he was. Jamie wanted to find out what was going on upstairs, however Michael wouldn't let him anywhere near the doorway. He was a jumble of emotion that moved between curiosity and fear of the unknown. One minute Jamie tried to get past Michael, the next he wanted to cry. Every time Jamie tried to leave, he was hoisted up and dumped in the middle of the room. "You are not going anywhere, Squirt." Jamie felt like he had hit the lowest point in his life. Now his 10-year-old son was babysitting him while his little accident was visible the entire time. Michael was thoroughly enjoying the new official control he now had over his father. No longer did the son have to obey every command from the father. For a 12-year-old, this newfound power was thrilling and he was living it up to the fullest. It was Michael's turn to give the orders. For Jamie, it couldn't get any worse than this. He wanted to cry. It seemed like an eternity before Marjorie finally returned to the living room. Walking in, she went straight over to her husband. Jamie immediately stood up, thankful for her return. However, he was a little taken back when Marjorie walked right up to him and put out her hand. It was obvious she wanted Jamie to clasp her hand but was a little tentative by the odd gesture. When he did raise a hand, Marjorie grabbed it, turned, and walked away with Jamie in tow. Jamie was being led away like a child, past Michael, and towards the stairs. One hand grasping Marjorie and the other holding up his loose, wet underwear. Jamie was somewhat happy for Marjorie's hand leading up the stairs, his legs were much shorter now. And climbing the stairs was a bit difficult. Suddenly Sheila came running around the corner. Down the stairs. Past Jamie and Marjorie. Grabbed her purse. And headed out the door. Charging past.